What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite drills to do, the 7-arrow challenge. Stay tuned after the intro. Doing drills is not always fun, but I promise you that if you put in the work, you will get better. And this 7-arrow challenge is a great training tool because it's actually fun and improves your game in a lot of different aspects. This 7-arrow challenge will test your mental strength because it's very like what your eyes see and what your brain thinks it saw sometimes are completely different, which is why we always get it on camera. So it'll test your mental strength, it'll test your accuracy, your repeatability, and then the biggest thing with this drill is that it'll improve your versatility, which you guys know is one of the biggest things that I always talk about, is the ability to be versatile. Now, I usually talk about versatility in the bowling balls, but today we're going to talk about versatility in the bowler. If you guys like this video and you like the content that I'm creating, I would super appreciate it if you hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date every time I drop a new video. It helps me a ton the more you guys are subscribing and the more you guys are liking my videos. And if you like this jersey or any of the jerseys in any of my videos, you can head on over to logoinfusion.com, use my promo code Lewis, and that'll get you 20% off your entire order. Then down below in the description, I have links to everything that I used to make this video, from the camera to the chamois and the balls on the lanes. I would super appreciate it if you guys check out those links. So Andrew and myself ran through this 7-arrow drill, but what exactly is this 7-arrow drill? So the goal for this drill is for you to throw a strike hitting all 7 arrows. And it doesn't have to be all 7 arrows in a row. It's just finding a way to get your ball to strike from first arrow, then from second arrow, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. And this was extremely hard, especially for first arrow and for 7th arrow, because for 7th arrow, you have to go over the gutter cap. And then for first arrow, it can be especially difficult because we're bowling on a house shot, and the house shot has a lot of friction to the right. Now, as an added difficulty, Andrew and myself decided that we were going to throw the same ball for all 7 arrows. This way, you can really make sure that the bowling ball that you are throwing is very, very versatile. Now, for a drill like this, it is very important that you get the shots on camera, just because what you think you saw is not always what actually happened. There was a lot of times where, for example, we were in second arrow and I could have swore that Andrew or myself hit 10, but we really hit 11 or we really hit 9. So if you record your shots, the camera doesn't lie. The big takeaway that I took from this drill for me personally was that I wasn't as accurate as I thought I was, but in doing this drill, I found a way to become accurate. I learned that my misses were very, very consistent. The big thing was at the end, I found a way to be accurate and to hit all 7 arrows. And I gotta be honest with you guys, by the end of this video, I thought my angles were better than they have ever been. And this was only the first time I had ever done this drill. I am really going to add this drill into my practice regimen at least once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, just to make sure that I can stay versatile. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys have ever done this 7-arrow challenge. Also, let me know what drills you guys would like to see me do on camera. I'm gonna take you guys on the lanes now so you can see Andrew and myself doing this 7-arrow challenge. Thank you guys for joining Andrew and myself as we navigate through this incredibly difficult and incredibly challenging 7-arrow drill. Now, as always, I'm going to show you every single shot that we threw in this session. So we're starting out here in first arrow, and let me just say that first arrow was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I normally play first arrow when I'm on these shorter patterns, but bowling on this house shot, there is so much friction to the right that it made it really, really hard to hit first arrow and to strike. If you went up the first arrow, there was so much friction that the ball hooked. So we started trying to throw it to first arrow, but then we were afraid that we were gonna gutter, so that caused us to miss a lot. This first arrow was very, very challenging, but that's exactly what this drill is for, to get better. When it came time to deciding what ball we were gonna throw for this drill, we both decided on a symmetrical pearl. And the reason for that is we wanted a ball that wasn't going to overhook in the early arrows, but we also wanted a ball that was going to shape down lane once we got into 5th arrow, 6th arrow, 7th arrow. And don't worry, when we hit the target arrow and we strike, I'm going to show you a slow-mo like I'm showing here of the ball going over the arrow and then striking. All in all, for first arrow, it took Andrew 8 attempts and me 5 attempts, and I was really worried that this video was going to end up being a lot longer than anticipated. Second arrow was definitely easier than the first arrow, but for me, this is where I learned that my eyeballs and my brain were not in sync. There was a bunch of shots where I could have swore that I hit the second arrow, but when looking back on them on camera, I actually hit 11 or I actually hit 9, and that was something that I struggled with trying to figure out how to hit that arrow. And then it's not just figuring out how to hit the arrow, but you also have to figure out how to get the ball to strike, which is what makes this challenge so difficult. But ultimately, it's a very, very good training tool and will make you a much, much better bowler if you can master this drill. The second arrow took me 5 attempts and Andrew 2 attempts. Now we're into this third arrow, and Andrew is just plain and simple showing off getting it on the first try. But this third arrow did end up being the easiest one for both of us, just because this is the arrow that sees the most amount of play typically in league. This drill will definitely test your mental game, and having a strong mental game is one of the biggest things that you can have for your game. I settle in here and get it on my second try. I'm not trying to fall too far behind Andrew. But now we're into fourth arrow, and this is where I start to become significantly more uncomfortable. This is a part of the lane that I typically never play, but now we are in Andrew's absolute wheelhouse. And then don't mind Andrew, he's just getting it on his first try again. What I really like about this drill is that it constantly puts you in a very uncomfortable position. For me, getting left of fourth arrow is very uncomfortable. It's something that I'm not very good at. But using this drill, I'm going to turn that into a strong part of my game instead of being afraid to get that far inside. One of the things that I kept thinking about while we were shooting this, and even now while I'm recording this voiceover, is everyone has an A game, a B game, a C game, and so on and so forth. But what makes a really good bowler that much better is when their B game, their C game, their D game is just as good as their A game. So for me, my A game has always been playing right up the track, keeping the ball in front of me. But when I have to get into my C game, my D game, which is getting left and creating a lot of angle through the front part of the lane, I am very, very bad at doing that. And unfortunately, I don't practice it enough. So again, using this drill, I am going to turn that into a strong part of my game. I can only speak for myself when I say this, but I want to be the type of player that can play all parts of the lane no matter what. If the lanes are forcing me to play the first arrow, then I go to the first arrow and strike. And if the lanes are forcing me to play sixth arrow, then I need to be able to be comfortable to play there and to strike. Using this drill, I will make that happen. I'm all about trying to become a better bowler. I am an absolute student of this game, and it's all about trusting the process and staying the course. I don't know how this turned into a motivational video, but I'm here for it. Now, I hope you guys are getting a really good laugh at my expense at trying to play seventh arrow. But the one thing that I do want to mention about seventh arrow and this drill is that some bowling centers won't allow you to practice lofting over the gutter cap like this. I've always said that if I'm playing seventh arrow for score, then everyone else is in trouble because I'm not the type of player that gets this far left. But I did have a good time trying to learn how to get the ball that far over the cap. I'll leave you guys here with my best attempt at this seventh arrow, and then let me know down below in the comments what other drills you guys would like for me to add to my channel. I am obviously not a coach, but I would like to share some of the drills that I used. Well, there you have it, folks. There was the 7-arrow challenge. I hope you guys got a laugh at me playing seventh arrow. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys would like to see more drills like this in the future. Click right here to watch one of my other videos. Click right here to subscribe. Till next time, guys.